It is our last full day at this incredible riverfront campsite outside of Carbondale, Colorado. There is something that has been on our bucket list for a very long time. Today we are driving to a place called the Crystal Mill. Last summer we attempted to drive here when we were staying in Crested Butte. It's a pretty sketchy, I would say, off-road drive, and we just weren't feeling up for it that day. But from the area we are staying in now, you can access it from a different road. You can access it from a town called Marble that's pretty close to where we're staying, and it seems to be much more mild. So we're packing up right now. Dogs are in the car. We even put one of their massive dog beds in the back seat. Here's the other one. Those go inside at nighttime, but they cannot fit during the day. We were actually considering running or hiking to the mill. It would be about 9 miles round trip, but yesterday we did a pretty big hike up to very high elevation, like 12,500 feet, and the dogs are still a little bit sleepy this morning. So we said, let's take advantage of having the Jeep just drive out to the mill, and then maybe we'll take them for a walk a little bit later on. The start of this road is 35 minutes from our campground, so not too bad, and it starts in the town of Marble. So we just drove through the tiny little town of Marble, Colorado, and we are driving past right now what is called the Beaver Lake State Wildlife Area, a beautiful lake with mountains in the background, and we just got on the dirt road, so we should be starting the off-road portion soon. Crystal River Road was off to a pretty rocky and bumpy start, which continued for most of the drive. We hadn't run into any difficult obstacles yet, however, there were a couple of very tight sections where the road had worn away on one side, which definitely required some extra attention and caution when navigating. For a portion of the trail, you drive along a shelf road where it would be difficult or impossible to pass another vehicle, so we made sure to look ahead to be sure no one else was coming prior to continuing through those sections. Thankfully, it was actually a pretty quiet day out there. The road took us past steep canyon walls and along the beautiful Crystal River, which is also the same river all the way back at our campground. With the tight sections and bit of exposure, I was happy to have Paul in the driver's seat and myself in the passenger seat enjoying the view. It takes about 4.5 miles to reach the Crystal Mill, so it's not a very long drive, but it can definitely be slow going over the rocky sections. When we're off-roading, Jackson loves resting his head out the window, and Doug insists on standing the entire time, no matter how bumpy the drive gets. So we have about a mile left to go before we're getting to the mill. We just made a quick stop to give the dogs a break, let them out of the car. It has been pretty rocky, pretty bumpy so far, but we've seen a handful of people hiking it, biking it, so you definitely have other options to get there if you wanted to make it to the mill without taking a vehicle. We continued on down the road past more beautiful views, and soon enough we got our first view of the historic Crystal Mill that we have seen so many photos of but have wanted to see with our own eyes for so many years. So we just got to the mill. I so wish I would have looked up the history of this place before coming, because now we don't have any cell service, and I am so interested to know why and how this building was built out here. It's perched on the side of this rocky cliff. It is so impressive. Wow, I'm super excited to get a closer look. So crazy when you see something so many times in photos and then finally get to see it with your own eyes. So once you make it to the end of the road, there's a parking area here. And from what I understand, you used to be able to pay $10 and go to the bottom of the river. And apparently, I think I heard there used to be a little general store there also. However, that's not the case anymore. You are not able to go down to the river, but honestly, the view is perfect from up here. So they have it roped off to where you can walk up to, and you have a perfect view of the mill, down into the river, mountains in the background. So we somehow have the entire place to ourselves, which I feel like is kind of unheard of, especially on a weekend in the summertime. This is amazing. I'm so happy I'm finally getting to see this with our own eyes. So we pulled the Jeep up to the parking spot right in front and are taking some fun photos of the Jeep with the mountains in the background and the mill. This is awesome. So apparently there's a small town with houses up in a little town called Crystal. And we were going to drive the Jeep up there, but we realized it's only 0.1 miles away from that parking lot. So we figured it's a good excuse to get out, stretch our legs a little bit, and walk up to this town of Crystal. Apparently there are houses up there, so this should be pretty interesting. Well, there you have it. There are indeed houses back here. That is dedication to have to drive that road to get to your property. Although I'm sure you can only access it in the summer. Unless maybe you take a snowmobile. Oh, that was the general store. It says it's permanently closed and thanks for the memories. Oh, that would have been so cool to walk up here and grab something from a general store. If you do have a property here, you have quite the insane backdrop. So beautiful. Well, that was totally worth checking out. Now we're gonna walk back to the Jeep and head back down the road. Tell everybody what you just told me.
The whole way here we didn't use four-wheel drive.
That's impressive.
It's not me, it's the Jeep.
So we made it down off the trail and we're back in the town of Marble. There's a cafe here and they have paninis and burritos. So we had to stop for some lunch. So we just got some kombuchas, just so refreshing right now. And we're waiting for our food. Looks so good. And it's just so cute here. When we first got here, we got to talking to the nicest couple that was sitting at this table when we first pulled up. And I complimented all her bead bracelets and she gave me one. Just so nice. It's so pretty. So we're back here at camp and I'm here reading about the history of the Crystal Mill. So when it was originally built in 1892, it sounds like it was called the Sheep Mountain Powerhouse. So it wasn't a mill in the sense that you usually would think of. They describe it more of a power plant or a powerhouse, and it used a water wheel to generate compressed air for the nearby silver mines. So I guess the silver mines were a huge thing, and I think that's why Crystal, the town, became a town. It sounds like there were probably 400 or so residents that lived in Crystal at one time, and they had saloons and a couple of other businesses. Eventually, the mining operations out there closed, and then the town became sort of a ghost town. So very cool to hear about the history. I assumed it had something to do with mining because mining was such a large part of Colorado's history. So during this video, I'm not going to be showing you around our campsite because if you go to 2 videos back, we did a full video of our week here at this Carbondale KOA. We had such a great time here and I am pretty bummed we have to leave tomorrow. Like I showed you this morning, we have the riverfront view right there. It has been so peaceful to walk outside and have that right out of your front door. I would definitely come back to this campground again. So if you want to see more of this campground, more of our time staying in the Airstream outside of Carbondale, definitely go check out that video. So hopefully you enjoyed coming along, seeing the Crystal Mill with us. If you're not already, we'd love if you subscribe to our channel and gave this video a thumbs up. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.